Okay. Anyways, I'm super excited that we have a group here tonight to be with us. Yes. Momentum for life, baby. So I actually wanted to share something that's personal to me and one of my mantras that I live by. And I want to share some text and background to where it came from. So this is my mantra, one of them, be the duck. And some of you have heard what be the duck means and some of you have not. So a long time ago, way before most of you were ever born, I sold cars for a little company called Larry H. Miller Chrysler Jeep Dodge. And I did that for about 6 months. And apparently while I was selling cars, I was somewhat good at it. And they thought I was pretty good at it. I did not really enjoy it though, so it is what it is. But in the midst of me selling cars, one of the sales managers walked up to me and said, man, you are actually really good at this job. And from now on, I'm going to start calling you the duck. And I kind of looked at him and just thought, okay, that's weird and random, but whatever. And I thought it was just a joke. And then I walked away, he walked away. The next day, what's up, duck? High fives me, walks past, and I'm like, okay, he's calling me the duck. He wasn't joking, I'm gonna be the duck. And then the next day goes by, and a week, and a month, and he's still calling me the duck. And the whole time, while he's calling me the duck, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really thinking, why am I a duck? Like, I would much rather be a honey badger, or a bear, or a tiger. I really don't know. An eagle, heck, you want to make me a bird, make me an eagle or a hawk or something, but no, he's like the duck. And one day I was going up the stairs to the sales meeting room, and I stopped him like, bro, dude, why are you calling me the duck? Like, help me out with this. I don't understand what it means. And he's like, no, man, don't worry about it. You're the duck. And then he just walked away. And I'm like, this is getting frustrating. Like, I don't want to. Now I'm to the point I'm like, I don't want to even be called the duck. I think he's making fun of the way I walk or something. So I catch him again a little bit later. And I'm like, what does it mean when you keep calling me the duck? And he's like, Mark, I just want you to imagine what a duck looks like on a lake, cruising across the lake up in the mountains. Like, describe what that looks like to me. And I said to him, well, I guess it looks peaceful and calm, tranquil. Like, I was just trying to think of all these words, like, as I try to imagine this duck cruising across the water. And he's like, you're absolutely right. And he says to me, but how does the duck get from one side of the lake to the other? How does he make that happen? And I said, well, they use their feet, or, and they paddle. And he goes, show me with your hands. And so then I'm like, okay, it's like this? And he's like, yeah. And if they were trying to get to the other side really quick, what would it look like? And I go like this. And he's all, exactly, you're the duck. And I'm like, huh? He goes, when you're talking to people, when you're trying to sell them a car, it's like you're so calm on the outside. All the people see when you're talking to them is the duck on top of the water. And they never see what's underneath, all the pressure of, man, I would like to make a sale, and what else do I need to do to get this sale done? And inside, your feet are just paddling, but the customer never sees that. And it's just like the duck. We never see the feet of the duck moving, but they see the calmness on the top. And that's what attracts people to you. So that's why I call you the duck. And then in that moment, I was like, okay, I will be the duck. That is awesome. And then I've taken that, and as I coach high school athletes in different sports, and I talk to them about, hey, you got to be the duck, man. Like, if you're a wrestler and you're stepping out to go wrestle someone, how can you be smooth as you get out there and you're doing your wrestling moves, but inside you're chain wrestling and you're connecting everything, and your feet are just paddling in your head and in your heart to get something done. Or as I've owned and operated businesses, and I've had managers that have worked for me, and I tell them, hey, be the duck. Because they have to work with a bunch of employees or customers and deal with them. And on the outside, even though maybe 2 people didn't show up for their shift and they're shorthanded and we're missing some product and the workday is just not quite perfect, as a manager, you have to be the duck. everyone else is watching you. All the other employees are watching you, and you have to be calm on the outside, even though you have all these wheels spinning on the inside. And so to be the duck, it's easy to say. Here's what I found, because as I teach people this, it's easy to say, but much harder to do, to be the duck. Because you can say it when everything's good and great. You're like, oh man, look at me, I'm being the duck. No, you're not. That's easy. It's easy to be the duck when everything's good. Can you be the duck when it's hard? When you have all these different pressures and you have all these things that you got to accomplish and get done? Then it's a lot harder. And I remember asking managers all the time, hey, are you being the duck? Because I could see it. It's like the duck is in the water with their beak down and their wings are flapping and their feet, we can actually see their feet and they're flailing about. That's what happens when people go into panic mode. And that doesn't serve anyone else, because what happens, especially if you're a leader, if you start doing that, what do?
Everyone else starts doing it.
Everyone else starts doing it. Everyone else starts freaking out and following your lead. This is why it's so important to be the duck. Can anyone think of a time in their life where maybe they had to keep it together even though they had a lot going on? Denver?
Yeah. So at my old job, Blaze, it was a Friday night. I got to work and they're like, hey, it's a little bit busy today, just trying to keep up a good pace. And so they put me on online orders, helping on online orders. It was just me and one of my other co-workers. And as we're going in, we're doing good, we're setting a good pace, we're getting all the orders done on time. Then all of a sudden we get orders of 7, orders of 10, and they just keep coming and coming and coming. And so my co-worker, the one I was working with, just starts freaking out, and I'm just trying to sit there and calmly be okay, hey, just take a second, just breathe, it'll be okay, we'll get through this, it'll be okay. And the whole time, throughout the 4 or 5 hours that we were just making online orders for straight, we just had to keep going. We got to the point where we were waiting on the oven and or for them to give us more dough or something like that, but we were able to just stay level headed and make sure that we got everything done on time and all that stuff. And actually that day we broke a company record in most online sales.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is stressful, but also awesome that you're able to do it and accomplish it, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can relate to that. Owning a food establishment for 10 years. It's still, sometimes it feels like the worst, and especially I know at Blaze where you're standing in front of the guest, and if you're having to wait for those things, and you know that you have to do those online orders even though you have guests staring at you, and you're trying to accomplish both and weigh out which one do I do first or second, because you can keep taking that person that's in line, but then all you're doing is backing up all those online orders that were placed, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that. And whether you believe it or not, all of us are leaders in every situation we serve, whether it's as a husband, as a sibling, a sister, a brother, a coworker. It doesn't matter. Any of those situations, we're a leader, even if you don't have a title. And so anyone can be the duck, not just in a leadership role, right? And so for you, when you were able to do that, whether you believe it or not, people were watching you, and it probably made an incredible effect on them to help them stay calm, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have anything else?
I just had a thought as you're saying anybody could be a leader. So we have a 7-year-old and she sees mom working, taking care of kids, trying to get dinner and do everything. And there's times where I just do my cleansing breath as it becomes a little too much, and I just breathe out, and she'll say to me, Mom, you're doing a really good job. And I go, hi, and then it's a reminder that, yeah, I'm doing okay. And that she was kind of being the duck for me, where I was going, I gotta breathe through this for a second, I got it. But she can remind me of that, and she said it, so I just think that's pretty cool.
That is awesome. Anyone else want to share? Callie, you look like you want to share.
I don't have anything in mind.
It's okay. We all get more comfortable as we share together. You, Haley, can you think of a time?
Not right now.
I can.
Yeah?
Our wedding.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yes. 100%.
Yeah.
Why? What happened at our wedding? That was, that would make you feel like that.
I know. Well, first it was we were decorating for the wedding, right? All of us, and then telling me, you gotta go get ready so that I could be there in time. Callie was gonna be doing my hair for me. We had practiced, she was super excited. And I tell my mom okay, I'm ready for Callie. Can you check on her, make sure she's good and bring her in so she can do my hair. And then my mom comes and I go, is she okay? Is she not ready yet? Does she need a little more time? And I'm trying to just be calm and enjoy the day. And then she's like, well, she's gonna be a minute. And I'm like, okay, what? And she said, well, she's hit her head. And I'm like, okay, like, does she need me? Like, I don't know what to do and how to be there for my daughter, right? And so
And you were in
they're
your
like,
dress at this point, right?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
I were.
Yes. And so Papa, they're like, Mark's on it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But he's got to come in to where she is to help glue her head shut because it's bleeding everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it was probably time to start at that point.
Yes.
And so I'm in the closet so he doesn't see me because you're not supposed to see each other. And I had to just pray for her. I couldn't be there for her, but I thought what a great moment for Papa and Mark Tibble to be there for her on that day, you know, and she was going to be okay, and we're all going to be okay. And we all made it down the aisle and got married, and we were a little later, but we did it. And so I think all of us probably at different times of that day had to
Be the
be
dog.
the duck. And I think it was a great, because it was such a special day, it forced me to go, just enjoy every second, get through every second. It doesn't have to look perfect. Don't get upset that people are like, I think that was a great reminder for that day. And it doesn't have to just be because of that day, but it was a good thing for me.
Yeah. That's a perfect example.
Yeah. That we were able to and still enjoy the day and get through it all.
Yeah. So I share that with you because obviously at Momentum, our energy and effort goes into helping teach you guys how to find some momentum and knowing simple things. Like, I love simple key phrases like this, like be the duck, because it's easy to remember. It's kind of funny almost sounding. And then you can remember that story pretty easily, what it means to be the duck. And then when you get in those hard moments, you just remind yourself, hey, I gotta be the duck. And when we do that, we build momentum and it becomes life-changing for you. So anyway, thank you guys for coming and sharing a few minutes with us to talk about what it means to be the duck and being with us at Momentum for Life. And then everyone,